Welcome back to the Engine Performance Expo. Blake Speed Jr. again from Total Steel Piston Rings, along with Chris Straub from Straub Technologies. And as we mentioned before, we were going to come back and we were going to talk a little bit about how to use technology to make your business more efficient. Because you know me, I love technology making engines efficient, but technology can do more than just make engines efficient. Chris, tell us about it.
Well, you can make your shop more efficient. And what technology has done for our industry as far as automotive machine shops, what it would take a 10, 12-man shop, say 30 years ago, on a complete engine build, that type deal, if you were indexing the lifter bores, boring and honing, a line bore, doing the cylinder heads, if you had a head porter on staff that was porting the cylinder heads and stuff. I mean, you're looking at literally hundreds of hours for a 10-man shop when it's all added up. Right. And with today's technology and the equipment available in our industry today, you can literally take a complete engine build to machinists, and they can run every aspect or do all the machining process of every aspect that engine needs. The two of them with all the equipment and stuff.
Wait. So you're saying two guys can run an aligned boring machine, a hone, port heads, surface a deck, and do valves all at the same time?
Yes, Lake, we can. We can prep a block.
I got to see this, by the way.
And we're going to. Okay. Not only we'll prove it.
Okay, there you go. Fair enough.
So yes, we can take that block and be putting lifter bores in it in one station, and then that operator can be looking at a hone and honing and finishing a block at the same time. Okay. In the cylinder head side of stuff, that guy can be porting the cylinder head. Okay. Now, do you have to already have the port program already? Yes. Yeah. So the development work's got to be done.
Sure.
But you don't have a guy sitting there 8 hours a day porting, cylinder head. You can actually strap that head in that CNC, and then that same gentleman, after he pushes a button on that, he can go over to a head surfacer on a head that he needs to surface. And let's say it's the matching pair for the one head that may already be in the CNC. Sure. So it's done. Now it has to go to the surfacer, right? So we can get chamber volumes, gasket finish on the deck, everything done on that. He can program that in, hit the button, let the surfacer run, and then another customer's heads can be sitting in the seat and guide machine, and he can be doing a valve job on those cylinder heads. So we've actually got 3 processes running simultaneously in the shop, and that's all billable hours times 3. So again,
all I can hear is Warren Johnson, from last time at the expo, saying that he could basically do a set of cylinder heads in one night and go dyno it the next day, and within the course of a week have 5 different set of cylinder heads done, because you could have never done that in the past by hand. No, but they could do 5 iterations of development in 1 week because of what the time savings factor can be. A machine like this, what it can do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, because all I think about is this. Old days when I was growing up, we didn't have these. Right. You had this.
Exactly. Yes.
But now you got this hot rod toy that can do all kinds of stuff. So essentially, this is what this is to a Bridgeport. You're
exactly right. Now you still got to have that good quality machinist, but in today's times, it's getting harder and harder, and we hear it all over the United States. We hear it all over the world. Yeah. It's getting harder to find good, qualified people. Yeah. So if you can't populate, then you need to automate. Right. So if you've got 2 qualified machinists and the type of equipment that allows them, with the technology that allows them to perform all the functions in the shop, you can be a very efficient shop, and you can put out work that over and over and over again is the same quality each and every time.
And that's the key thing, is the repeatability.
Yes,
we heard that from Doug Yates. Yes. First Engine Expo is like the repeatability factor. Right. And I saw that from NASCAR. I mean, that's what CNC machines did to NASCAR. There was no longer the magic engine of the bunch that was better enough. They were all the same.
Right.
Why? Because automation made it where they're all the same. You know, one other little thing I want to mention before we get into that, I want to see this, right? I want to see Jaden and Logan run these 6 machines at the same time. I want to see that. But before we get to that, you know, there's some other things you can do too to save some time in the shop. I saw a guy the other day had a cool YouTube video. One of our customers, Performance Trends, has software that allows you to take all the information you would normally have when you're blueprinting an engine and put it in essentially a spreadsheet that you can then print out to the customer. You can save it on file so you're not having papers and all this kind of stuff to track around. But what was really cool was not only did this software capture all that information, he had digital calipers, digital mics that had a Bluetooth dongle so that when he measured it, hit the button, it recorded it straight to the software. He could be across the room, mic and a crank, hit that button, it's recorded. Cylinder 1, cylinder 2, cylinder 3, you can check it all, then there's no transcription errors, nothing.
And to quote John Calley's, because he tells me this all the time, he said, Chris, it's all about the data. You gotta have the data. So with that, and the recording of that, it's accurate because, I mean, it's right there. There's no human error in there.
That's awesome. All right, I got to see these guys do the work.
I gotta put up or shut up.
Yes, sir. It's time. Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna do it.
All right, Jaden. So Chris says you can run 3 machines at one time. So for all the viewers who are watching, y'all heard Chris say that. So now we're going to put the proof in the pudding. So Jaden, tell us a little bit how you're going to juggle running these 3 machines. Which one are you going to do first?
I'm going to start at the EM69. I've got everything already set up, so I can walk you guys through the going from one machine, getting it running, going to the next one.
All right, so what we're going to do after the EM69, what's next?
I'm going to go over to the S86, the surfacing machine,
Okay.
get it going, and then we can jump back over to the seating guide, and I can start cutting seats myself.
All right, that sounds good. So all you viewers, get ready to go on for a ride. I've got the portable camera here so I can get you up close. You're not just having to look at the wide shot. So, all right, Jaden, carry away. So tell us what you're doing right now.
So before I start this thing, even if it's a program I've run 100 times, I always like to just make sure I can simulate where my tool is going to run through the tool path, and I just make sure there's nothing that's cutting in from the side of the port or nothing funky that's happened that I've missed.
Pre-flight checklist, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear noise back there. Oh, yeah.
Start out okay.
All right, so this one's working. We move to the next one now or no?
Yep, we're ready.
Okay.
So this head is already set up, it's been leveled, and I've already touched off my cutter. So
Making chips.
sounds good.
All right. Moving on now?
About to make a finished cut on cow 6 FD. Sure we get a good nice finish pass. Who takes a cut? Swap out and on to the top.
Meanwhile, while he's doing that, oh yeah, still moving. All right, making chips over there. He's working the exhaust over here. All right, Chris Straub. I guess he might be right.
Down the head as long as you need it to.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. You don't seem rushed. You're not like you're having to really juggle.
As long as you get your setup right, it's not hard. You can just jump from one to the other and run back over there, douse some WD when it needs it, come on over.
All right, Jaden, good job. Now let's see if Logan can juggle the hone and the boring bar, okay?
So,
all right, we'll see. Okay, so we saw how Jaden could run the 3 machines at the same time. All right, now Logan, pressure's on you. So what are we going to do here? Show us what we got.
We got a Pontiac block today. We're going to be boring the lifter bores out to put bushings in. While this is running, we're going to step over to the hone. I'll show y'all how easy it is to run the hone and this machine at the same time.
All right, go for it. Let's see it. She's making some chips, huh? Now, can you just walk away from her at this point?
Yeah, and after it starts running, I just walk over to the home. We have a block in there. I'll just start honing it while that machine's running and doing its process.
All right. So the hone in this case has already been set up. You've already gone in and done the programming and the hole-to-hole mapping, and
yeah, we've done all the setup. It's ready to go. So.
All right. Is this going to size or is this finish honing right now?
We're just roughing around there.
Just roughing right now. Okay. All right. Explain to us what we're seeing here on the screen. I see squiggly lines jumping left and right and cone making all kinds of racket.
You can see the lines over here. Now, why it's stopping like at the bottom or the top and honing more is because the cylinder isn't completely straight. So it compensates for that, and it'll hone in a certain position more than the other if it needs to get the cylinder.
It's feeling its way through the hone, through the block, and then say, oh, here's a tight spot.
You can feel where a tight spot is, and it'll stop there for a second.
Now, is that what we're seeing there on the screen? Those like red lines kind of moving, where it's sensing.
That's your cylinder wall around this right there, and you'll be able to tell when it senses a tight spot because it'll stop down here towards the bottom or the top or wherever it's at.
It works a little more there to bring it down and try to make it straight and round. I think we've heard Ed Keibler talk about straight and round before, haven't we?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I bet. All right, so this thing's here running. That's still cool. Every time I see that happen, I'm like, that's just so neat. Someone doesn't have to sit there and touch it and do that. It's amazing. So this is...
Stand back and watch them while they run.
Real quick, while you're at it, why didn't you just move to the adjacent hole?
I like to leave one in between each other. That way to keep the cylinder cooler, which we don't have any problem with it getting hot or anything. But it's just something I prefer to do.
Right. Because you are generating some heat.
Yeah.
And we know heat leads to distortion, so you're trying to make it as even as possible. Coolant going, feeding out. Alright, so what's happening on the other machine over there?
It's a slower process where we're using a single point cutter. It usually takes, I think, about 8 to 10 minutes to do a whole block on one cycle on this. And we're boring it out to 1 inch for lifter bushings, so there's quite a few different steps that we have to go through.
Got it. Again, just like going on with Jaden, you're not rushed or in a hurry doing this. I mean, you've got 2 different operations going at the exact same time, and you're not breaking the sweat, you're not running back and forth. Nope. Pretty easy, huh?
Very easy.
Alright, I hate to admit it, I gotta tell Chris that he was right.
Time to get those questions ready. We're back at the Engine Performance Expo. Submit those questions now, and the whole panel here, which we've got a great panel. We've got Mr. Ed Keibler, of course, and Charles is back, and Chris. First of all, Straub, thank you so much for hosting us here. I am just blown away, and in between segments, I'm always looking around at just what you have put together. This is the first time we've been on the air together, so I just want to thank you for your part in putting this all on.
Well, Joe, it's a blessing. I'm humbled that everybody gets to come in the shop and see what we do here. It's been an awesome opportunity, and the future looks bright for this. And I appreciate you being here and all the time that you've spent with us and what you've done for the Engine Expo show.
Thank you very much. It has been great. So let's get those questions going. Automation and technology, and as much as everybody is passionate, I think we really got to the bottom of it the last segment, and that with Scooter, and that you got to make money. You have to make money, otherwise you can't chase something that you're passionate about. You'll end up doing something else. And so to maximize your time in the shop, you're paying your rent, you're paying for the equipment, you have to put a lot into maximizing your time, and automation is part of that. How has that been utilized here at Straub Technologies?
Well, never more in the history of time have we ever seen such a issue as far as getting good help and qualified people and stuff like we are right now. And I know I've got a manufacturer I deal with almost on a daily basis that has run at about 60% of their capacity for employees, and it's really put their production behind because they can't get good quality people. As you've seen in some of the segments that we've done today, this shop really, with the equipment that we have from Rottler and other manufacturers, a 3-man shop today with this type of equipment can produce what a 12-man shop did 20 years ago. So this thing has never called in for a vacation. It's never been sick. It works 24 hours a day if we want it to. As you saw with Jaden in the previously, running the 3 machines. So at an hourly shop rate of what we are, when he's doing that, now it's times 3, because this is generating revenue, this is generating revenue, and the third piece of equipment. So for me, automation, it allows, as Scooter said, to make money, and I can actually pay my higher qualified or my employees a higher wage because I don't have to have 3 employees. I can have 1 employee.
And Charles, what about your situation with LN Engineering? Similar?
It's the same thing. Having investing in the right guys working in the shop, investing in the best equipment you can, the best tooling. If your employees come to you and they have an idea to do something better, or they see something in the Tool and Die magazine, some technology that can improve a process, time is money. And if you can, and the more machines the guys can run simultaneously, the better the tooling. So the tooling doesn't wear out, or the better finish quality. So you have less reworking, less scrap rate. Those are all things. It's not necessarily, when you think automation, a lot of people think robots.
Right.
We're not looking at putting robots and replacing people. That we want to do invest into the business, so that the people that you have, one, so you can keep them, so they don't want to go anywhere else, and two, so that they're vested and want to put their blood, sweat, and tears into what they do every day and love what they do, because then the customer sees that when they get the finished product.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point, in that when people hear automation, they do think people put out of work, right? And maybe that's not even the case, because I'm pretty willing to bet that if a sharp go-getter with knowledge, drive, and determination shows up on either of your doorsteps, you're going to bring that person in, because that's rare. You're just giving the people that have shown that the tools to be as successful as possible.
Correct. I mean, because you're looking at a machine like this, what it can do once we have captured the shape of the port and stuff. Now this, and my customers, our contract porting that we do for people out there in the industry and stuff. If I've got a customer that needs 10 sets of heads at the end of the week, and it's Monday, there's no way that I could have had one qualified guy porting 10 sets of heads. He could never have got it done. With this machine, we can get it done. So not only have we produced that product, gotten it out the door, made the customer happy, we've been efficient, and the shop has made money. And that way, and I pay my guys, they get a percentage each month. So the more they get out the shop, no comebacks, the more money they make. It makes me proud when their check is more than mine.
There you go. And Ed, your thoughts on this from Rottler?
Oh, Chris has kind of said it all. I mean, that's what we look to do is we are looking more and more to automate equipment. It's just like Chris's new surfacer over there. You can put an amount of material in there you want to remove from the cylinder head, press, go, and walk away. So that machine's over there working, this machine's working, the hone's working, the block machining center is working, and it's not attended. That the guy can be doing something else. So it's super important in today's world to, we kind of call it automate, don't populate, but it's back to that same thing. We're not trying to put people out of work. We're trying to kind of pull these shops up. You look at this shop here, it's just a beautiful place. I mean, it's clean, it's bright, it's a great place to work, and our young people that are coming into this industry, this is what they're looking for. They're not looking for the old, dark, dingy, greasy dungeon. These guys want to work in places like this. So, what a great place.
And the tools to be creative, the tools to dream up something. And I'm sure if somebody comes to you and says, like, hey, I've got an idea, Chris, you're going to empower them to do it, and to have the technology around that is capable of doing that, whatever it be, whether we talk 3D printing a little bit earlier or your machines. That's how you're really going to get ahead, right? Like, if you got your standard business right here, but the day that you do come up with the next mousetrap, whatever it happens to be, then you can really step forward.
I learned a long time ago, doing what everybody else is doing is not going to put you out ahead. So, you've got to be innovative. You've got to bring the automation in the shop, and then that way you can be ahead of everybody else out there and produce product for your customers, that no matter whether they want to pump gas big block Chevrolet or if they want to go competitive drag racing.
Excellent. Gentlemen, great. We'll see you guys a little bit later at the round table, but right now we're going to throw it to a little bit later. We're going to have George Bryce here live. It's going to be great, and this guy is a wealth of information and knowledge and drag racing and racer and just so many things. I got to sit with him at the restaurant last night, and I just oh my gosh, so excited to share that with you. But first, we're going to throw it to a bit about the V-Twin, which is such a big deal in his career, and then we'll have George back here live.
What a day, what a day, what a day. Yeah, my brain is swollen. I've learned so much today. They told us
don't start cars. We are not going to listen.